Inland Sports.
Leading things off, these guys are 3-0. They're off to a great start. Big game this week. We are joined by Patriot head coach Chris Fowler on the show. And Coach, 3-0, that sounds pretty good. What have you guys done well? What do the Warriors have done well through the first 3 games of the season?
Well, thank you for having me on the show. Basically, you know what? We have a good group of just solid guys, and not just for seniors. We have a sophomore tailback, a junior quarterback, and our senior receivers who are just kind of leading the group with along with our senior line. So we've all come together. I mean, it's been, as you know, a crazy 3 years, you know, ever since COVID started and all the things that have happened and all the games that are around. And we've had to figure out things, and they've stuck together. We've added the new pieces, and they just kind of it's one of those magical years where everything seems to be happening for a good reason. So just keeping my fingers crossed that everything stays and we can stay healthy.
All right, Coach, you know, here we are this week, and it doesn't feel like football season because it's like 110 degrees outside. But do you, as a head coach, do you have to kind of negotiate around that? Do you practice early? Do you go in the gym? Like, how do you make it work and have your team still ready for Friday night?
Yeah, well, you know, also being the AD at Patriot High School, you know, I have a lot of obstacles I have to figure out. You know, our district policies, you know, once we get a heat index, we can't practice till 6 o'clock. So actually right now, you know, my team's just starting practice as I'm up here doing this interview. But yeah, we negotiate a lot of different things. And, you know, one thing that I think all coaches and ADs have kind of figured out is through COVID, you know, things can get done. Things are possible. You can't go back to, you know, the old saying of, you know, this is how we did it in the old days, because, you know, everything is different now and everything is changed. So you kind of got to go change with it. And it's just something that not only the coaches, but the players, administration staffs, everybody's kind of on that know that, hey, you know, we haven't done it this way in the past, but hey, we're open to new ideas and trying to get it done that way. So that's exactly what we're doing as a team. You know, we put in some new things on our play call system, just trying it and seeing how it's done. And you know, we use some of it, we take some of it away. You use what you like, you don't use the other stuff. So that's kind of the approach I've just kind of used for everything now, because, you know, who knows what, you know, the next hour brings. You know, we could get shut down because of the smoke in the air from the fires around the area. So these are just things that we're all watching and conscious of now that in the past, I don't think football coaches ever really thought about.
All kinds of stuff out there. Coach, I also want to ask you, I think it was during basketball season. I was out at Patriot High School shooting some highlights of a basketball game, and I saw the new football field. I didn't see any bleachers, I don't think, yet, but the field was amazing. And I don't know this answer. Are you guys actually playing on campus now?
No, we're still off campus. But yeah, the actual turf and track are amazing. We're actually now in the process of getting lights. So they're kind of piecing it together. The bond that was initially proposed to get it all done wasn't passed. So our district has now just started piecing out the pricing for each one. So we got the field and the track done 2 years ago. We're getting lights put in this spring. And then, you know, hopefully, you know, we can get the stadium in 2 or 3 years so that we can finally have a home game on campus.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. Well, I can tell you right now, the field at least is awesome. It looks great. Yeah. Ready for some football out there. Coach, I've been around high school football long enough to know that wrestlers make great football players, and maybe vice versa as well. But I was going through your stats, man. You got a great sophomore running back, Josiah Felix, and when you told me he was a wrestler, I was like, okay, well, that makes total sense now. He's only a sophomore, but what can you say about the numbers he's been able to put up and what he means to this team so far this season?
Well, last year, you know, we had Brandon Lopez, our all-league 2-year running back, and we had saw Josiah at the freshman level. He had gotten hurt like right before our season started. He pulled something in his leg. So the first couple games, you know, we really didn't get to see his talent too well. But once he came back mid-season last year, his freshman year, we knew he was a talent. He's a bigger kid. He's already 6'1". So I was like, hey, let's put him in those last couple games, see what he does. Brandon was getting a little banged up, as you know, our style of run the ball often. He's got 30, 40 touches a game. So I needed somebody to kind of relieve him towards the end of the season. We put Josiah in there. He had like 2 great games at the end of the season. So we decided in the offseason, hey, He's more of a downhill runner. We'll put him in on zone concepts. And, he's got his first game, almost 200 yards. The next two games over right around 100 yards each. So, he's that one cut attack guy who's going to run downhill. He's not afraid of contact. He's not afraid to just stick his face mask in you and run you over. And then that way we could put Brandon over at slot receiver. Now people have to honor our passing game a little more. We can get him the ball. Again, he's already caught, I believe, 12 balls this year and a couple of touchdowns. So it just made our offense a lot better by having all those guys on the field.
He's the Zeke Elliott of the Inland Empire, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm a Cowboy fan. So, yeah, we were trying to get that receiver, that running back and quarterback, the triplets going out here. So hopefully, we can keep it up and they can stay healthy and our line can keep blocking the way they have been. And, our next couple of opponents, we got Grand Terrace coming up. I just saw major guys in Inland Valley. Top 25. They're a really good team. They kind of handed it to Hillcrest. I understand Hillcrest had some injuries, but, we're looking forward to, playing a team like that. We always schedule a double wing or a two tight end team because we have Norte Vista in our conference, in our league, and we got to get tough. And, the only way to get tough is to go play tough teams. So that's one of the reasons, we're playing Grand Terrace this week is, they're a tough team, got really big size, really physical, really fast. So we got to see if we can match up to that.
Yeah, obviously, league's going to be great. We've seen what Ramona is this year, and Novi traditionally strong, and Hillcrest seems to be like they're back to where they used to be. They look to be tough. But Coach, let me ask you about this week's game. I mean, when I looked at your schedule, I was just trying to guess who might be the toughest team in your non-league portion before you guys even started the year. And I'm like, probably Grand Terrace. And that's probably what it looks like is Grand Terrace looks like they got a pretty good team. They're off to a good start too. What are the keys on Friday night against the Titans?
Ball control, I think, on both sides. When I went, I was watching film on Grand Terrace against Hillcrest. Hillcrest did a good job moving the ball. They just, they struggled down in the red zone and putting some points on the board. And, Grand Terrace has the double wing. They want to grind it out. We did play Rubidoux, who did the same thing to us. And then they had an 11-minute drive against us, all 4 downs, and they're 2 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards. That's something we got to take care of against Grand Terrace. We can't let that happen. The good thing against Rubidoux is we didn't let any big plays happen. So we got to prevent the big plays from Grand Terrace. They have those 2 outstanding wing backs that are just electric. I mean, they're really fast. They're really burners. So we've got to keep them contained. And on offense, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, a mix of run and pass. But when we get into the red zone, we have to score, touchdowns, not field goals. So we need to keep the ball, keep it away from their offense and just keep doing what we're doing, plugging away. So I don't expect too many possessions for each team on this game. I think we both kind of got the same mentality. We're going to try to keep away from the other team.
Well, Coach, you mentioned, ball control and pounding the rock with Josiah Felix in that run game. And if Grand Terrace runs the football too, you might be home eating dinner like by 9 o'clock. I mean, you might be home before anybody else. That's going to be a fast game.
Hey, last week we had the Thursday game and we started at 7:30 and we were still done before 9. So hey, I have no problems with that clock rolling and those officials, they seem to like that part of the game when they just keep watching their arm go in the circle. Hey, just run that clock. As long as we end with the W, I'm okay with short games.
And Coach, finally, we'll go out on this question. So, before a season begins, it's easy to believe like, hey, we're going to be good. The record is 0-0, but we got a lot of faith. But when you start 3-0, all of a sudden that confidence, starting to build a little bit. You're looking around the locker room and you're like, okay, we can win some games. We're 3-0. We're doing it. What does that do, the confidence level for a young team? Maybe, for the sophomores and guys who are really getting a lot of varsity reps now that just start 3-0, get a couple wins under their belt and really believe, not in July when you're, 0-0, but now you're 3-0 and these guys are winning ball games.
Yeah, last year we started 2-0 and then we lost a really close one to Hooper Valley by 1 point and we kind of started to skid. So I think that was kind of the learning lesson last year where, it doesn't, you can start well, but you got to keep it up every week. Every week when you're 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, when you're a good team, the other team's going to keep shooting at you and they're going to want to knock you off of that undefeated pedestal. So you've got to bring your intensity every week. Even when, you're playing maybe a team you're supposed to beat by 30 or 40. that team, they see that 0 in that loss column. They want to be that first team to give you that L. So you got to kind of match that intensity. I think last year when we got beat by Harupa by that point, it kind of showed the kids. And now these same group of kids are coming back like, hey, we don't want that feeling. We want to keep this 0 as long as we can. And we understand our league is really hard. Grand Terrace is a good opponent. I mean, in our league by itself, we had in the past couple of years, we had Arlington who won the CIF championship. Ramona 2 years ago, go to the championship game. Norte Vista 4 years ago, go to the championship game. So our league is really good and getting to the playoffs and making good runs in it. So if we can get to the playoffs, I believe, with this team and if we can stay healthy, we can make a run as well.
That's awesome. That's great. Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. That was a lot of fun. I won't say go Cowboys. I know you're a big Cowboys fan. I'm a Niner fan over here. But but good luck against Grand Terrace this week. And congrats on the strong start so far, Coach.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And how about them Cowboys?
That is Coach Chris Fowler from Patriot High School. Thank you, Coach. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Warriors 3-0 to start the season, but a big game coming up with Grand Terrace this week.
Atlanta Sports.